Good evening, this is Manjusha Radhakrishnan, Entertainment Editor of Gulf News. I'm here with the review of Ulajh, starring Janhvi Kapoor, Roshan Matthew and Gulshan Devaiah. It's directed by Sudhanshu Saria. It's a spy thriller with geopolitical stakes. When I was watching the movie, I thought I was drawing parallels between Janhvi Kapoor, a nepo baby, a bona fide nepo baby in Bollywood, who is the daughter of late actress Sridevi and producer Boni Kapoor, and her character in the movie called Suhana Bhatia. Just like how she's given things in a platter in real life, her character Suhana Bhatia is also promoted to a high position as Deputy High Commissioner in the UK. It's a very important post. Even her own father, who's a career diplomat, says it's very unusual that a woman with such limited, even if it's a daughter, a woman with such limited experience gets promoted. She thinks her father is being very stingy with affection and is being tough on her, but I think there was a merit to his argument as well. When I watched the entire movie, which is a spy thriller about double-crossing agents, about espionage and high stakes with geopolitical ramifications, you wonder if this movie was just a showcase for Sridevi's daughter, Janhvi Kapoor. Every scene is almost designed to make her shine, which is a disservice to actors like Gulshan Devaiah and Roshan Matthew. Both are not nepo babies. Both are actors who have made their niche in Indian cinema through their hard work, unlike Janhvi Kapoor. And I'm not throwing a shade on her. I just felt that the movie was doing a disservice to such good actors. Their characters were underwritten. Okay, if there is Roshan Matthew who plays her very impatient peer, there is Gulshan Devaiah who plays a very smooth operator who makes being bad look very desirable. Gulshan Devaiah is in top form in this film. In fact, there are bits where he just looks sinister. He pulls it off with such panache. It's impressive to watch him perform. Whereas the same could be said about Roshan Matthew as well. But their characters are really underwritten. The maximum amount of spotlight and focus has been given to Janhvi's character. Now, the thing with Janhvi's character, it's not very believable. Here is a woman who's not highly experienced as an IFS officer. She wears these French luxury bags, leather jackets. She's not the stereotypical, garment serving official that you imagine. Her fashion is on point, but when it comes to judging people, she's not on point. That's what the movie is all about as well. Her entire career is threatened when she makes a series of bad choices in her personal life. One thing that I can say is that it's a very engaging thriller. There are twists. In fact, it's one of the few movies where I thought the first half was superb. It was engaging. It went rapidly with great economy in emotions and with great speed. Our director kind of put the whole world together. That was impressive. Even the action, the stunts look very believable. Despite a very engaging first half, it's the second half that completely goes off the rails. The climax is not believable. The tensions between India and Pakistan, the geopolitical games that politicians indulge in, and how the government and how the officials serving the government are often compromised is looked into in this film. The second half is not believable at all. The climax especially borders on the ludicrous. How does a young woman with no training of being a trained operative, undercover agent, how does she manage to outwit trained operatives is beyond me. So those are the ludicrous bits. I thought all the male actors, especially Adil Hussain, Gulshan Devaiah and Roshan Matthew really shone. The characters may not be well written, but whatever limited scenes they were given, it is pretty exciting to watch them perform. Janhvi Kapoor does very well in the emotionally charged sequences. There are scenes in where she breaks down. Those are very heartening and tugs at your heartstrings, of course. But when it comes to an entire movie, when you look back on it, you often wonder, how did this woman get away with so much and how did the men get away with very little, but they shone as well. I've gone with 3.5 out of 5. They always say that why should truth and facts come in between a good story? Well, the same actually holds true for this film as well. I mean, it's a thriller with geopolitical ramifications. There's India-Pakistan rivalry at its best, etc. Those are very grim topics, but the double-crossing, etc. is handled interestingly. But it's the climax in the second half that lets this movie down. If you're in the mood to watch an interesting spy thriller that unravels towards the end, perhaps go for this one. I've gone with 3.5 out of 5. For our full review, go to gulfnews.com and tell us what you think of this movie.